DC here. Hi guys and gals. Well, walking home from work. It's funny, in my little screen it looks a lot lighter than it actually is. It's getting dark, but whatever. Anyway, I made a vlog over lunch, which I'll probably chop up a bit because it was a pretty yucky vlog. I didn't have much, I don't know, as I was talking I was realizing I wasn't saying anything interesting, at least in my mind, and I'll probably move out or cut out bits of it. Just as I was leaving work, we got some rather interesting scientific results, some analysis that came in, which I can't, of course, talk about the details, but it's a question of paradoxes, you know, where you're looking for things and finding them where at first hand they shouldn't be, and that's where they are and why. So, you know, then you start discussing like through this type of disruption of the cells you would have leakage, and you would find the components that normally shouldn't be there in the equivalent of the supernatant. Anyway, you know, I won't get into that, but whatever. Is that, you know, then you have somebody that's discussing with you and says, well, no, that can't be. And of course, then you have to try and find the words to explain why the paradox or the paradigm shift in the whole thing. And it's not always easy. That's where you see you got to either really understand what's going on so that you can explain it with total confidence, or show a bit of humility and say, I think I got to sit down and think about this. Maybe there was a problem in the labeling, or, you know. And I'm pretty certain that I was able to explain the shift, except for one analysis, which I wasn't quite certain myself, and I'm gonna have to go back and check. But you know, there's that whole thing of how much do you want, or how much should you fight or be stubborn when you think that you're right, or when you're not certain if you're right, you know, without losing face, without even making it come off as if you don't really know what you're talking about. Well, that's the whole thing often with science. Science is very often a thing of knowledge, yes, but often it's a thing of faith. A lot of people don't realize that, how much, I mean, there's always these fights between science and religion, and it's funny, but there's so many similarities that people don't actually realize about, you know, dogmas and beliefs and so on. Oh well, whatever. One of the videos which I'll be tacking on to this, I mean, from lunch, is also going on about the questions of paradoxes, and it has to do with graffiti. But I won't talk about it because I'll probably just tack it on, and you'll see at least the first part of what was going to be my lunchtime video. Well, the weather is changing a lot. I mean, we don't have the extreme changes that you have like in the Midwest, but still it is changing, and I do see it is getting darker. Yeah, so I mean, I don't talk much longer than that actually. I think it'll be DC signing off, walking home from work, trying not to slip on the wet leaves here, which are actually quite slippery, and be back in a bit once I tack on that little bit, upload it, and I'll try and get into watching videos, more videos soon, is being kind of, for various reasons, a little bit difficult these days. Okay, signing off. Take care, everybody, on this Thursday. Bye-bye. Oh. No. I'll cut it. Let's cut it here. Bye-bye. Do you see here? Well, hi guys and gals. Well, it's another little of these lunch breaks, and if any of you remember what that wall looked like before, you can see that they had some kids come over and redo the graffiti on it. It's funny, it's one thing, Switzerland always used to be, for years and years and years, one of these so-called extremely neat, clean countries. Still is. But one thing that they always did have in the cities and in the inner city part was a lot of graffiti, and not always nice, a lot of wild stuff. I guess it might have been because, you know, the country was pretty strict on a lot of things, and that finally people just, especially maybe the younger generation, kind of broke out, and there was a lot of graffiti, like I say. And one thing that they started doing over here a while back now is having, we could almost call them graffiti allowed zones. So different towns started putting up walls and stuff like that for allowing the young people, to express themselves. And I guess, though, the flip side of that was, of course, was a pretty hard crackdown if you didn't use the right places. Anyway, over here, they did do a relatively decent job. I mean, I'm not an enormous fan, but it's clean. I mean, it's not just a bunch of swear words and so on. So, yeah.